Hello everyone. This is Kristen with Intentionally Nourishing. Welcome back. And today I want to talk about how do you identify and pick out a quality essential oil. Since essential oils are really hot right now, really popular, in the last couple of years, there has been a huge influx of companies on the essential oil market. And so, you don't want to just go out and buy any essential oil. And so when I started researching essential oils, I was kind of using the same filter that I would use with food. A lot of the food that I purchase is organic. It's produced without chemicals. And as we mentioned in a few previous videos, chemicals that you apply to your body, that you breathe in the air, are in your bloodstream far quicker than chemicals that you're consuming through your food because of the digestion process and the binding of foods to different chemicals, which is just the body's way of protecting us. So when I really started researching about the different kinds of oils on the market, what I found is that they kind of fall under two categories. There's either therapeutic grade essential oils, or there's more of the food and fragrance grade of essential oils. And so I just want to go through today and just kind of highlight the key differences, and just help you, hopefully, if you haven't purchased essential oils before but you're interested, or if you have purchased them but you're not sure the quality of the ones that you've purchased, this might just be a little checklist that you can go through and decide, what you want to purchase, or if you want to keep using the ones that you have. So the definition of therapeutic grade, and I'm going to use my notes because I want to give you the best information possible, is that number one, they are distilled from plants that are organically or wildly grown in a clean environment. So again, organic means without the use of pesticides, fertilizers, chemicals, and if it's wild, then it's away from humans. It's not near roads or highways where there's runoff from cars or animals or anything like that. These oils come from the right genus and species. And so if you go back to your science class, every living thing on the planet has a scientific two-part name. And so if you look at your oil label and it just has frankincense or lemon and does not give the genus species of the plant, then most likely it's not a high quality oil. I'll just say that. There have been no chemical fertilizers added to the soil to boost the plant. What's there is the plant's actual, own nutrition, nothing chemically added. It is cultivated without herbicides or pesticides. So herbicides kill other plants that might be trying to grow and compete with the plant's resources, and pesticides kill pests, so insects and other things like that. So a lot of those herbicides and pesticides we're finding are doing very harmful things to people. So again, I don't like to eat food with that stuff, so I don't want my essential oils to have those things in them either. They're extracted by a steam distillation process at a very minimum temperature and pressure to keep the integrity of the oil and to keep them as close to the living components as possible. And so that's why these are really effective and really healing oils. There's been no chemical solvents used to extract the oil. It's just that boiling process that I talked about yesterday, and just collecting the oils that are condensed from that distillation process. This process occurs in stainless steel or in glass. I'll talk in a moment, but other companies that have poor quality oils are distilling in other metals. And for me personally, I'm trying to avoid heavy metals. I have spent a lot of time, dealing with the havoc of heavy metals. So, anything that I try to consume even at my house is in stainless steel or glass. We don't have any standards for essential oils in America. I think the FDA is probably trying to work on it just because they're becoming so popular. So a therapeutic grade essential oil would meet the standards of France. So France actually prescribes essential oils for medicine and has really specific standards for those essential oils. And so to be therapeutic grade, they have to meet the French standards. They're bottled straight from the still, which is the distilling container, and there's been nothing added to the oil. They're not diluted at all. It's just 100% pure oil. The container and the lid that these oils in are non-reactive, and the glass is amber, blue, or brown, just so that the sun can't degrade the oils in any way, or the light. And these oils have hundreds of constituents in them, meaning like, I guess you could think of them as trace minerals. And so these are whole and complete oils, and they have to be, in order to be considered a healing oil or a therapeutic grade oil, all the constituents need to be present. So there's a lot of standards that go into a therapeutic grade essential oil. Unfortunately, 95% of the oils on the market are not therapeutic grade. And there's rampant fraud occurring right now because since the FDA and in the US, we don't have standards for essential oils. They can, you can take a diluted oil, you can take an oil full of chemical, and you can label it as 100% pure. So just like green means nothing, natural means nothing, a lot of the labeling on essential oils means nothing. And again, it's so frustrating and I'm so sorry, but that is just what we have to work with. And so we have to be educated. And so that's why I'm here. So the reason why, 95% of the oils on the market are considered food or flavor grade is one, they're not healing, they're unbalanced. So I talked before that, a therapeutic grade has to have hundreds of constituents. In these oils, there's maybe a couple. And really what they're for is those couple of constituents are what are responsible for the oil's taste or smell. And so that's what they're going for. They're distilled and cultivated with fertilizers, herbicides, fungicides, pesticides. So all of those which are in the bottle and then will be in your system when you apply them or breathe them in. They've been used, there's been fertilizers used in order to produce these crops. And so what it is that these crops have grown in dead soil, which is the case for a lot of our plants in the United States for sure, and why there's so much Roundup and different things that have to be applied for plants to even be able to grow. And that's why organic food has been found to have a higher nutritional content than, I can't remember what the other term is right now, but just standardly grown food. And so, we want to, if we're going to be using essential oils for therapeutic purposes, we want that soil and those plants to be full of life. And these plants, unfortunately, are not. So these oils don't, contribute to healing of any kind. These oils are extracted at mass temperatures and mass pressures because it makes the distillation time go faster, which allows them to be produced cheaper and saves the company money. They also use chemical solvents to produce these oils to be able to extract every single drop of oil from the plant. But then you're also getting the chemicals in the oils, which is the downfall. The vessels that these oils have been produced in may contain a variety of metals, which again, many of us are trying to avoid heavy metals. And so, with things like Alzheimer's and, my mercury fillings and all that stuff, we know a lot of different ailments right now, autoimmune disease may be contributed to from heavy metals. A lot of the constituents in the oil have been removed and they've added synthetic components. So, artificial flavors, artificial smells. So whenever you see the term perfume in a soap or a lotion, or in a lot of these essential oils, a lot of the companies are adding vanillin, which is an artificial vanilla smell. And it's like, I don't know about you, I don't cook with vanillin. I don't cook with artificial vanilla. I cook with the real thing. So I don't want artificial vanilla in my oils. They don't need them. If it's pure oils, they smell amazing and they don't need anything artificial added. So anything artificial that they add is just making it cheaper. These oils are dead. They don't have therapeutic value, and they actually can be toxic if you put them on your skin or take them orally. And so most of the oils that you're going to see in the supermarket, when you look at the label, it says do not use on children, do not take orally. They may even say do not apply directly to the skin. If it has any of those kind of labeling on your oil, then it's not a therapeutic grade essential oil. So a lot of these oils, if a product says, infused with essential oils, these are your oils and candles and personal products and oral products, that says, it contains wintergreen, and toothpaste and things like that. And, the other thing that we see, for every pound of frankincense oil that's produced, there are 12 pounds sold. So the math there does not add up, right? And that's because a lot of oils are diluted. So one way you can test your oil to see if it's diluted at all is to put it in the freezer. If your oil freezes, it's not 100% pure if there's any ice in it at all. And so, a lot of the oils, a lot of people say, oh, essential oils are expensive. I'm just going to go to the store and buy frankincense, a bottle for $10 for an ounce, which is, a couple of tablespoons. Frankincense, in order to go pick frankincense in the Somali desert and send it to France to be processed and then to ship it to the US, frankincense with all of that is $140 an ounce. So if you're buying an ounce of frankincense for $10, you know that baby is way diluted, or there might not be much frankincense in there at all. So it's just not financially or even possible to produce a frankincense oil that cheaply. And again, we can buy really, really cheap food. You can buy all kinds of food at the dollar store and all kinds of places, and it's terrible. And the same thing is to be said for essential oils. If you buy a really cheap essential oil, you're not going to get much from it nutritionally wise, and you're going to get a lot of unwanted byproducts from that. So with that said, I personally have done a lot of research, and the company that I feel so comfortable with after my research is Young Living. And the reason that is to ensure that all of the standards are met to be a true therapeutic grade oil. You need to know who's doing every aspect of the production of your essential oil. So you need to know who is planting the seeds. What seeds are they planting? You need to know who is harvesting those plants. You need to know who is distilling those plants at the right temperature, at the right pressure. You need to know that they are not diluting it, that they are not running it through the distillation process several times even to get more oil out of the plant. It's a one-time shot there with them. And you need to know how they bottle it, and you need to know how they distribute it. And so if you can't answer any of those questions, you should really look into the company that you're using. And, you can do a lot of research on Google. I am not going to badmouth any other company, but like I said, Young Living has met and exceeded every standard that I have. And there's some other really cool things about this company. They're the only ones that have their own farms. They have the most farms all over the world. And not only do they have farms, but they are just like building life into these communities where they are farming, and they are doing amazing things to help people. So they're not just product driven or profit driven. They're product driven and they're people driven. And I've just been blown away. So I will get more into, some of those aspects later on, but for those of you that are going to maybe start looking into essential oils or just kind of being a little bit more discerning about those, feel free to message me, if you want to talk more about it. And, if you want to sign up, yeah, I share Young Living with other people. I love it. I also share with people, where I buy the cheapest foods and where I get my organic food from Costco. I mean, I share a lot of things. So, if you are interested in signing up, I am happy to help you. And, part of Young Living's process is that, I do get a little kickback for sharing with people, but also part of that kickback goes into me educating. And so, if you do want to get started, I'm committed to giving you the best education that I can give you. So that all goes together. But again, this is not a push for sales. I just want to educate. And so if you're using something different, you can still be a part of this group. That's okay. But if you want to get started and you want some help with that, I'm here for that too. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there before I get into some practical uses. And if you want to have oils on hand to do these things, then I can help you do that. So anyways, hope that's helpful, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.